Have you ever looked at your life and thought, this is not how it was meant to be? Like somewhere along the way, you just got stuck. You lost momentum and you look at everybody else around you who seems to be moving forward, yet you feel left behind. And you keep wondering to yourself, is it too late to start again? Well, let me tell you, it's not. Because at 41, that is exactly what I just did. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I got here and what made me take the leap. So if you're feeling left behind, then this is your permission slip to start again. So I started YouTube about 6 months ago and I was uploading weekly videos, learning all the working parts that you do when you start a YouTube channel. I was talking about subjects like, because I'm an empowerment coach for women, I was talking about how to overcome overthinking, anxiety, people pleasing, how to set healthy boundaries. And although I knew what I was talking about, to be honest, I felt like a complete fraud because I was actually going through these things at the time of recording the videos. And I thought to myself, how can I help other women with these things if I haven't completely overcome them myself? Because up until about 6 weeks ago, I was living with my mum. Yet at 41, I was living with my mum. Now, society tells us you grow up, go to university, get a good job, then have the career, meet someone and settle down. And I thought I would have that all down by the time I was 30. I would be married, I would have started my career, and now I'd be taking time off to have my family. Well, life had other plans for me. In my early 20s, I was signed off work with stress and depression, which was actually the early signs of OCD. I went through a long battle with addiction. I didn't know it at the time, but I was also undiagnosed ADHD. So all my life, I had been masking that, which showed itself as perfectionism and a long life pattern of mine, which started in childhood from a really young age, was people pleasing. I went through an awakening in 2012. I discovered personal development and I found ways to manage these difficulties. And I actually ended up becoming a life coach. I did my course and I got my accreditation with ICF. Now, things were going well. But then COVID happened. So my mum and dad had moved to Spain. We hadn't seen them in 2 years because of the travel restrictions. And suddenly, out of the blue, my dad passed away in the middle of the night. It was really unexpected. And my mum was out there. She couldn't drive. She'd made friends, but my dad had always done like the paperwork, sorted out, bills and insurance and, the mortgage and whatnot. So my mum literally didn't have a clue where to start. I went out there, somehow got across through all the travel restrictions. I think when you have a mission and you are dead set on doing something, the universe has a way of stepping in and making sure that it gets done. So I got there. I met my mum, I sorted out the funeral. Over the next few months, we were back and forth Spain, sorting out all the paperwork. And because of that, I had to leave my job because I couldn't keep leaving the country and have like a month off at a time. If you think paperwork is slow in Britain, well, Spain is a whole nother thing. I ended up spending 3 months out there, which sounds great, but it was really stressful. I couldn't sleep. I had anxiety, I hadn't processed my dad's passing, and all I was thinking was, what is going to happen now? So me and my mum had a discussion. She decided that it was best for her to come back to the UK. And me, being a recovering people pleaser, stepped straight back into that role and said to mum, why don't we live together? Just temporarily whilst you get back on your feet. And in my head, I thought, it's only going to be 3 months. Well, 3 years later, we were still living together. And over that period of time, it had turned into a really unhealthy pattern, which reflected how things were in my childhood, which was me providing emotional support to my parents and me running around trying to do everything to keep them happy. And little did I know that the more I did that, the more my mum became dependent on me, and the more I was trying to set things up so that we could go our separate ways, the more we just seemed to become like intertwined in each other's lives. I would come home from work. To be honest, I was in a job I did not like, and all I would want to do is just shut off from the world, be in my own space, either sit in quiet or do a meditation or go to the gym so I could unwind. All she would want to do is tell me about her day. So I'd walk in, she'd have the telly on, like I don't watch telly. And it just reminded me of my childhood. When we are around our parents, it doesn't matter how old we are, it will bring up childhood patterns which we think we've overcome. What's that saying? Your parents know how to push your buttons because they installed them, which is so true. So every day I would humour her and I would listen and I would give her the time of day because she also has anxiety and I didn't want to fuel that at all. But I was doing it from a place of guilt. Over time, that turned into resentment. The life that I had built for myself, the routine, my healing journey, meditation, going to the gym, all of it just seemed to diminish right in front of my eyes, and I didn't seem to be able to do anything about it. Now, my mum, she knows about personal development because of all the things that I've said, but it's not what she's into. We are very different people. Even though we would be sitting in different rooms, even when I was upstairs, I was very aware of her presence. I was really aware of her energy, and it was a very different vibration to mine. I tried to accept her for where she was at and just do my thing and concentrate on my stuff. But it seems the more that I tried to focus on myself and would be in a good place, the more it would unsettle her, because everyone has this pattern of what makes them feel safe. It's their attachment style. And my way of feeling safe is to isolate and be on my own. My mum's way of feeling safe is to be around other people and be supported. So every time I pulled away, that would actually make her want to reach out towards me more. So it was almost like we were antagonizing each other. And over 3 years, the dynamic between us got really bad. We were arguing, and I would feel really guilty afterwards, and I would apologize straight away. But then the next time we would argue again. And even though in the moment I knew that we are in different places and we are different people and I need to accept her how she is, in the moment it was so hard and it was so exhausting. Everything just started to get me down. I was in a really unhappy place. I completely lost momentum with my personal development journey and my exercise routine and eating healthily. And it's like a domino effect. You lose track of one thing and that seems to affect the next area of your life and the next area of your life. I felt like I did years ago, really discontent, not living my purpose, completely stuck, feeling guilty and responsible and resentful all at the same time. And it got to the point where I just thought, do you know what? I can't do this anymore. I am entitled to my own life and I don't have to feel guilty about that. Wherever my mum is at, that's okay. And there's nothing that I need to do to change that. But I do want to change my life. It's like that famous quote, unless you change how you are, you will always have what you've got. And yet I couldn't change how I was because, like I said, mine and mum's energies and our daily routines and everything was just so different that I couldn't be who I really am at the core. I couldn't live in alignment with who I truly was whilst I was around my mum. And I don't blame her for that. but I also knew that it was time to take the leap and make the move. We both agreed that we'd start looking at flats. We eventually found a flat for Mum, which she absolutely loved as soon as she opened the door, and a flat for me. And to be honest, there is a whole other story about how I manifested this flat. So I'm going to be doing another video on that in the future, so keep an eye out for that. But the whole process of moving was so stressful. The anxiety came back, the overthinking came back, and I thought to myself, these have been reasons that have actually stopped me doing what I really want to do in the past. And I thought, if I can work through this and get through to the other side, then I'm going to start living the life that I really want again. So I focused on my why, and that's what kept me going. I planned every single day, right down to packing, paperwork, referencing, transferring money. And don't forget, I had to do this for 2 people, not just one. At one point, I met my auntie for a coffee, and I was so paralyzed by overthinking, analysis paralysis, that my auntie said to me, "Kathy, I've never seen you like this before." She was trying to talk to me over a coffee. And because of where my new flat is, I was worried that the noise of the trains would keep me up at night. And because I hadn't been sleeping, that was another reason to move, was to move somewhere quiet. And I had found my dream flat, but it happened to be next to a train station. When I was explaining this to my auntie, I was on the phone checking how many trains go past this station each day. What time is the first train in the morning? What time is the last train at night? And she said, "Kathy, stop looking." Do you know what? I was so stuck in a decision of whether I should go for this flat or not, that I actually asked AI what I should do. And it said to me, after listing all the pros and cons, you don't want to be stuck in a beautiful prison. And although that should have really given me a clear answer, that made me even more stuck, because I was like, should I, shouldn't I? Is this the right flat? Is it not? And when I met my auntie, she said to me, if you don't go for it, you'll never know if it was the right place, if it was meant to be, and if you're going to be happy there. But if you go for it and it's the wrong decision, then you can always change your mind. So I thought, do you know what? She's right. And that's what did it. That's what made me make the decision. And as soon as I made that decision, everything seemed to fall in place. Like I said, the universe steps in and has a funny way of supporting you if it's something that you really want to do. So after all that time of living with my mum, the stress of moving, the anxiety, the overthinking, I am finally in my new flat, and literally since the first day I got here, it's like a dark cloud has lifted, a weight has lifted off me, and my energy's been different, my mindset has been different. I've taken steps to get back into my routine, start meditation again, start going to the gym again, and do all the things that I love, one of which is making YouTube videos. And I'm so happy to be back. I feel like I am coming from a place of authenticity, my true self. I can be honest, I can share how I really feel. And I know that I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to have it all figured out. I am a work in progress. And if I can just help one person with my story and how I got through it, then that is what I'm here for. The average life expectancy is 70 years old. So if everybody has it figured out by 35, then what do we do with the second half of our lives? What do we have to look forward for? Where is there room to improve? Where is there room to grow? These are the things that absolutely light me up. And when I look back at the last 3 years, and not only that, but my life before that, because this is not the first time I'm starting over, and I'm sure it won't be the last. But you know what? That's absolutely fine. I love learning new things. I love having new experiences, meeting new people, learning about who we really are as humans, why we've come here, and what our purpose is. And I will be working on that for the rest of my life. And that lights me up. That makes me happy. I'm starting again with everything from scratch. I have no furniture because I gave it all to my mum. I got rid of so many things in the move, which I was just holding on to because possessions sometimes give us security. But actually, I gave loads to charity, I gave loads to the tip, and I gave loads away to my friends. And in doing so, I felt free. Now I can start again, not just with furniture, not just with YouTube, but with my life in general. I'm free to do what I want, when I want, without worrying about how that's going to affect someone else. So if you're feeling stuck and afraid to start again, then I want you to know that it's never too late. It's never too late to follow your heart and follow that inner calling and do what is right for you. We were put on this earth to evolve and learn and grow. And if you feel unhappy, discontent, and just like you're meant for more, then that is your soul crying out for you to take the leap and do something different. There's that saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. This is your permission slip to start again. And if I can do it, so can you. I'm sending you so much love. If you like this video, then hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.